Hey everybody, Hunter Fisher, Trapper, Trader, Guide, Scout, and Interpreter, and just a country cook, Steve Hall, here in Nashville, Tennessee, along with pretty Miss Sheila running that camera. Hi, Sheila.
Hi.
You know I'm making this recipe for you today, right?
Right.
Homemade ranch dressing. Now, if you check out our channel, you'll see we got all kinds of dressings on there. I love blue cheese and French mixed together, so we have a homemade blue cheese dressing recipe and a homemade French dressing recipe on there, but check them all out. But today we're going to make homemade ranch dressing for Sheila to go on this delicious salad, so come on over here and let's get started. All right, let's have some fun. Let's start out with a cup of mayonnaise. And I always like this opening balance. 1 cup, half cup, quarter cup. 1 cup of mayo. Half a cup of sour cream. And a quarter cup of buttermilk. Now, we never make you go to a website to get the ingredients to our recipes. If you just look right under the video where it says show more, click on that. The entire recipe will drop down. You can copy it and print it out. It makes it so much easier than going to some blog or you got to go to my website to get the recipe. I'm here right now looking at your recipe. Why don't you put the ingredients right underneath the video? So we do. All right, we got those 3 goodies in there. Our 1 cup of mayo, our half a cup of sour cream, and our quarter cup of buttermilk, which gives it that nice little bite. Now we're going to put in a half a teaspoon of garlic powder and a half a teaspoon of onion powder. Now make sure you don't use garlic salt and onion salt. That just gets way too salty. So use the powders, a half a teaspoon of garlic powder and a half a teaspoon of onion powder. Follow me on this. 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, that's all. A quarter of a teaspoon of regular black pepper and a pinch of salt. Just pinch them up, chuck them in there, and that's going to be just right. All right. Now it's time for our little herbs in here. Now you can use dry herbs because you should really let this rest in the refrigerator for 24 hours. But when I was at the store, I kind of ran by and I got some dill, some tarragon, some chives, and then when I got home I forgot the parsley, so I got parsley. And those are the 4 ingredients that you want to use for this homemade ranch dressing. Again, it's dill, chives, tarragon, and parsley, and it's a half a teaspoon of each one of them. But I actually chopped up some fresh stuff because I don't want to wait overnight. I want to be able to pour it right on this salad. But you can use the dry stuff at the house. You'll always have it on hand, and then you can just whip up your homemade ranch dressing, set it in the refrigerator overnight, and man, looky here. Is this starting to look good, Sheila, or what? Now when I make blue cheese dressing at home, it's pretty thick, so if I want to thin it out just a little bit, and this will thicken up as it sets over night in the fridge, I use a little bit of half and half, and don't be afraid to pour just a little bit of half and half. I'm just kind of using that as an example if it gets too thick on you, but this really looks delicious. Now we're ready for our little magic ingredient. Here we go. We're just going to put in a couple of drops of Worcestershire sauce. Just a couple, not very much at all. Whoop, 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 whoop. Hold on a second. I'm going to actually get my spoon and dip some of that back out because I don't want that much in there. Just a couple of drops. It'll kind of dissolve into the rest of it, and it gives it just a little bit of a tang, and you really don't know where that delicious flavor came from. But, you know, maybe do it in a spoon first, then dump it in. But you only want about 2 drops of Worcestershire sauce. Then, into the refrigerator overnight. But we're not going to do that. I'm going to move this into this little bowl here. You know, I got my whisk out, but I really didn't need that because I just whipped it up with that spoon. Now I got a little bit bigger spoon because I want to do a thumbnail. That's the little picture you see when you first go to YouTube to see what our recipe is. And that's the only reason I'm moving this to a smaller bowl. Of course, I had a bigger bowl because I wanted to mix it up. And I thought if I mix it up in this little teeny bowl, sure enough, it'll go over the sides. Plus, if you make it in a little bit bigger bowl and then you transfer it to a smaller bowl like this, this will fit in the refrigerator a lot better, obviously. What I want to do is I want to move this delicious salad over here, And I'm going to start to drizzle some of this on here so I got a nice camera shot that I can go. I'm going to put some right down the middle here. How's that look, Sheila?
Looking good.
Looking good. That'll be a good shot, won't it? Be a good picture. When they see this picture at the beginning, they'll know that we snapped it right off of this, just like this. I held still just long enough to grab that little thing here. Well, what do you think? There we go. Here's our little salad. That's probably enough dressing to push it around there and stuff so me and Sheila can enjoy some. And I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I'm telling you, if you make that recipe, that is so standalone delicious, you won't believe how delicious that homemade ranch dressing is. And there you have it, homemade ranch dressing. I even stirred a little bit of it in the lettuce for Sheila, and then I took my pepper shaker. I know I didn't use fresh ground black pepper, but you can do that. And I just hit it a lick and it's ready for the table. Just remember, and I keep the recipes on my smartphone, so when I'm at the store, I know I gotta have parsley, chives, tarragon, and baby dill. Everything else is pretty much easy. If you got a little buttermilk, you're always gonna have some sour cream and mayonnaise in the refrigerator. You can whip it up, and I'm telling you, hold on one second. There's a little tomato over here with a little bit of that cheese on it, just screaming for one little baby dollop of ranch dressing. Now, I hope you enjoy our recipes. We hope you subscribe to our channel. A little Shotgun Red's face will pop up over here in a little bit. When it does, click on it. When it says subscribe, right next to it, just click on that bell. Then you'll be notified every time we come out with a new recipe. We'll put up a little kind of a list of recipes over here you can click on. We hope you do that. And is this the most delicious homemade ranch dressing you ever ate? Boy, if it ain't, it ought to be. Sheila cleaned off the counter here in between camera shots and took her little finger and went, wow, that is so delicious, didn't you, sweetheart?
I did, and tell them about that Heinz 57.
I didn't tell him about that?
No, you didn't.
When we have steaks, she does this, and it's now she's got me doing it. I love Heinz 57 sauce on my steak. Now, I know there's people out there that eat A1 or they don't use anything at all, but I just like Heinz 57, and so does Sheila. Well, one day I kind of looked over and she was taking a little bit of ranch dressing and pouring it in the middle of her little puddle of Heinz 57 and making little swirls with a fork, and then she dips her steak in there. I do too now because it's really, really good. Thanks for bringing that up, Sheila. That's cool. All right, here we go. We'll see you next time right here on Cooking with Shotgun Red. And we already asked you if this is the best, and it is. Say goodnight, Sheila.
Good night, Sheila.
We'll see you next time right here on Cooking with Shotgun Red. And this is just so good. One little piece of cheese flew out. I know it's on camera, but I don't care. See you next time. Bye-bye.